It really bothers me when people act like they have some crazy intellectual property fitness program that's like never been done before for a goal like fat loss, because really fat loss comes down to a few key principles and they're pretty simple, and I think everyone should know them. So in today's video, I'm gonna explain the full workout program I use to lose 15 pounds of fat, even with a really busy schedule. I'll explain my split, the goals of the program, why I chose each style of training, go through the basics of an energy deficit, especially focusing on how exercise can contribute to it. Plus, I'm gonna give you a 7-day Kickstarter fitness challenge that you can download completely for free in Notion, so you can try out the workouts, split, and type of training that changed everything for me and helped me to lose fat and keep it off. If you want to take the time and thought out of your fitness and have everything you need right in your pocket, make sure to stay tuned until the end of the video for a very exciting announcement and a giveaway, as well as a limited time offer that will never be available again. Let's start with Intensity 101. A lot of people will try to sell one specific method of fat loss. You'll see a lot of people that say, oh, you need to do plyometrics for fat loss, or you need to do weight training, or this or that, or you shouldn't do cardio, you should do cardio. It's very confusing. Really, the only thing that matters according to the research for purely fat loss purposes is getting into an energy deficit. So we are burning more calories than we're consuming. The research is quite clear that the type of exercise matters a lot less than the intensity, or essentially the amount of calories we burn from that exercise. Nothing is stopping you from completely ignoring this program that I'm about to show you and doing literally any type of exercise that you want. But this program was designed with a few key optimizations in mind because, at least for me, fat loss is not the end all be all in terms of my health goals. It's also taken me about a year to develop, and I've had a lot of trial and error, so hopefully you can learn something from the methods that I came up with and why they work for me. So the goal of this specific programming, first and foremost, is to lose fat. In addition, this program is designed to maintain existing muscle, improve cardio systems kind of as a side quest, as well as get lasting results. So I wanted this to be something that I could sustain for the rest of my life. Lastly, and probably the most important aspect of this program, was I wanted to minimize time spent in the gym. This program is designed specifically for busy people. I wanted something that was really feasible for someone who is using a crowded public gym during peak hours, and I wanted to stop wasting time setting things up, breaking them down, changing equipment, cleaning stuff, waiting for machines. And by the way, for about half the time I spent developing this program, I was working full-time, plus I was doing YouTube on evenings and weekends, so I had an extremely busy schedule. Since I left my job about 6 months ago, I've still had an extremely busy schedule, although my time has been a little bit more flexible. All that to say, this is made by a real busy person. Fat loss can feel really complicated, but at its core, it comes down to lose fat, we need to burn more energy than we consume. Simple, but not easy. So first thing, calories in. I have a full video on this that I'll link up here and down below if you want to check it out, but calorie counting is a lot more complicated than a lot of people know. I'll give you a few of the key takeaways from that video. Measuring and estimating is difficult, and we tend to be pretty bad at it generally. There's variation person to person depending on our gut microbiome of how much we actually absorb from the food that we eat. Nutrition labels aren't always accurate. Caloric availability differs by food, like macronutrient type, as well as how processed the food is, and fiber makes things even more confusing. It's purely a numbers game that is always happening in the background, whether we are tracking it correctly or not. Mass is not created or destroyed out of thin air. Whether it's our body using fat stores for energy, or if we have excess energy consumed from food, we need to store that as fat. The mass, it's coming from somewhere. Now the calories out part of the equation. TDEE, or total daily energy expenditure, is made up of 4 components. First, basal metabolic rate, or BMR. This is like essentially our body keeping the lights on if we did nothing all day. Think of like your heart beating, your lungs breathing, etc. The basic processes. TF, or thermic effect of food, is the energy it takes us to digest the food and extract calories from it. High fiber foods, high protein foods, and foods that are less processed tend to be a little bit more work intensive, so we burn more calories trying to break down and extract the calories from those foods compared to other foods. NEAT, or non-exercise activity thermogenesis, is the movement in our day-to-day, like standing, sitting, fidgeting, typing, things like that. Last, exercise activity, or EA, usually makes up the smallest amount of most people's TDEE. Our bodies also can adapt to burn less calories doing the same exercise if we do that exercise consistently over time. That's why it's so important to continue pushing ourselves in our exercise and progressively overloading so that we can fight back against those adaptations that will cause us to burn less from the same exact exercise the more often we do it. We have calories in and calories out to make up net energy balance. This is what determines whether we gain or lose weight. Some people will have thyroid or other hormonal issues that can have an impact here, but otherwise it is purely just a calories game. If we consume more energy than we use, then we will store the extra energy as fat. And when we're doing this, our body can also change some of our processes to use up more energy than they normally would because we have so much left over. Our metabolism is a very interesting and complex system. If we're eating less energy than we use, then our body will tap into our existing tissue to get that extra energy that we need. Mostly that's that's fat, but unfortunately some of that will also be muscle. Muscle is very high maintenance energy-wise, so our bodies love using it for energy, which is sad for us. But don't worry, there are things we can do to protect our muscle, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Our bodies don't like using energy stores the same way that we don't like dipping into our savings account for money unless we have to. So our bodies can adapt to do the same processes using less energy, the same way we can decide not to go get takeout over the weekend if our bank account is looking a little bit light. This is great news for our survival as a species, but it's not great news for getting a six-pack. Let's get into the programming I included and why I included each type of programming. So an upper body lift, a lower body lift, 1 to 2 days of low intensity cardio. I would go for as much as I could, anywhere between 60 and 120 minutes per week, and then one high intensity workout that was about 10 to 20 minutes depending on how much time I had. The first thing I included is a lower and upper body lift every single week. The reason is that maintaining muscle, in my opinion, is essential. It looks good, feels good, it's amazing for our health, and it is hard earned. Another reason lifting is so important is that having additional muscle increases our total daily energy expenditure slightly. This is because muscle is needier than fat energy-wise. But honestly, a lot of people overemphasize the difference that additional muscle makes on our total daily energy expenditure. So I like to think of it as a nice added bonus, but not the main reason I want to have muscle, because the difference is pretty small. The next part of my program is low intensity cardio. There are a few reasons why I started incorporating this into my routine. First thing, it's easy to recover from. In a deficit, I found that my energy levels got a little bit lower and it was a little bit harder for me to recover than normal. I also spent a few weeks testing out high intensity exercise to see how I felt, and I found I'm the kind of person that just really struggles to recover from more than a couple of high intensity workouts per week. I also was feeling kind of like brain fog and struggling to focus a little bit in my work. I have a friend, and if she's watching, she'll know who she is, but she does like 5 or 6 crazy HIIT workouts every week and she loves it and she's thriving. She's just built different. Some people are like that and they can recover from it fine, but for most of us regular people, dialing back the intensity but increasing the volume to get a similar energy output is going to be a little bit more effective. The trade-off, of course, is time. So to get the same output, let's say 100 calories burned, it might take me 20 minutes of low intensity work and it would have only taken me 5 to 10 minutes of high intensity work. But since all the other workouts within this week are pretty intense, I wanted to make sure to make up the rest of the time with lower intensity work so I was able to recover. And since one of my goals on the side was to improve my cardio systems, doing different intensities of cardio is really important to get different adaptations from your cardio systems. When we're specifically looking at the low to moderate range, that type of exercise can help a lot with improving your aerobic systems, which is super important. So why did I include HIIT training in this split? High intensity interval training, or HIIT, is some of the best bang for your buck in terms of time invested in energy output, because you can get a pretty high energy output or calories burned in a pretty short amount of time, which is why I think it's such an amazing tool if you have a busy schedule. Like I said, I realized quickly that if I was doing high intensity training too often, I just wasn't able to recover from it. But if you're low on time and you can recover from it, using it frequently if you have a really busy schedule or you have very little time to exercise is a tool you can have in your back pocket. It is also really demanding if you're going at that full out intensity during your working time. I notice when I'm doing a lot of HIIT training, I often need more sleep and more rest than I normally would. So trying to find that balance of like going at a high intensity, but also making sure you're not having to take so much rest that it gets you off track is kind of a delicate balance. Why exercise at all if you can achieve an energy deficit purely from food? Let's talk about it. People who exercise tend to keep fat off in the long term more often than those who don't exercise. I have a few hypotheses about why this may be true. One of them is that research shows that exercise helps to control appetite compared to people that are entirely sedentary. And then of course, the energy burned from exercise raises our total daily energy expenditure, or our calories out part of the equation. So we're able to eat a little bit more and maintain at the same level when we are exercising. Like we talked about, preserving muscle is important. So in order to do that, part of the equation is these lifting workouts. So if I was just doing 2 workouts a week in this case, I probably would just do the lifting workouts because maintaining muscle is so important in my opinion. And personally, while fat loss was my main goal, it's not my only goal, and there are a lot of other aspects of health that I want to focus on. Exercising is so important for us, as we all know, in terms of our health, our longevity, how we feel, our focus, and like mental clarity and mental health. And it's really just an added bonus that it also has been shown to help with fat loss. So are abs really made in the kitchen? I think the reason people say this is because it's really hard to create a calorie deficit purely from exercise. So going into my 90-day cut challenge, which was really the start of my fat loss journey about this time last year, I had mentioned that I wanted to try to make my deficit mainly from exercise and keep my food about the same. And I quickly realized realized that wasn't really going to be possible for me. Here's an example. So about a 1 hour lifting workout for me will burn anywhere from 200 to 400 calories according to my Apple Watch, which even that is likely an overestimate based on the research. The wrist trackers are not estimating very accurately and tend to overestimate calories burned. And there are 100 calories in 2 Oreos. Just 2 little Oreos. So I found it really hard to see results by mainly trying to just change my energy expenditure from exercise, just because it's so time consuming, and I just struggled to recover when I was doing tons and tons of exercise. Since I was so tired from all the exercise I was doing, I found it harder to make the food choices that would help me get closer to my goals too. I'm planning to do another separate video on nutrition and food for fat loss, so make sure to subscribe if you want to see that. But there's a lot more that I want to get into about this and everything I learned, and I will in that video. In terms of exercise, it is really tricky to make your entire deficit from exercise, but it is possible. It's just you'll have to kind of adjust over time and find what works best for you. Besides lifting at 12 sets per muscle per week, there are a couple of other things I did to maintain muscle. First thing, eating enough protein. The goal for me was 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. There doesn't seem to be a downside of getting more than that 1.6 grams per kilogram figure, but the impacts do kind of level off around that point, and there's not a huge benefit to eating lots more protein. And ideally, I tried to space the protein out between 3 to 5 smaller meals throughout the day rather than having it all at once, because there is kind of a maximum amount of muscle protein synthesis that we can generate from one meal of protein. So spacing it out tends to help a little bit with that. The other thing is going slow. Research shows that when we lose weight too quickly, we tend to lose more muscle than when we do it slowly and more sustainably. Like I said, this took me a year, and I'm sure there are so many people out there who could lose 15 pounds in like a couple of months, or maybe even faster, but I specifically wanted to go slow so that I could make it sustainable and maintain as much muscle as possible throughout the process. And I feel like that really gave me the time to learn so many things about the process, learn what worked for me, test things out, fail at things, make mistakes, learn from them, improve. And I think it's a huge part of the reason why I've been able to maintain this, and it's now really just become my day-to-day lifestyle, and I haven't yo-yoed back and like regained lots of weight, etc. I haven't fallen off during the holidays or celebrations or whatever. Like, it's become a part of my lifestyle, which I love. So going slow was one of the big things that helped me with that. You can download the 7-day free fat loss Kickstarter challenge in the description down below. It's through Notion. It is a sneaky preview of the Burn and Build fat loss program available in the Radiant Health and Fitness community, which is launching right now at the time that you're watching this. I hope you love the workouts, and if you do enjoy them, then consider checking out the Radiant community, where we have lots more workouts just like that within the Burn and Build program and tons of other stuff. Before we get into the giveaway, I want to tell you a little bit about the community. Within the group, I share the tools and programming to help you fit health and fitness into your existing lifestyle and busy schedule. Here's a quick rundown of what we offer, although all of the details are on the About page, which is going to be linked in the description. Quick and effective fitness programs designed specifically for busy people. We're launching with the Burn and Build Fat Loss program, as well as the Cardio Charge Cardio Systems Focus program. We also have daily menus, or what I think of as kind of meal inspiration. So it's a full day of eating with macros and calories calculated for you, focused on less processed foods, protein, as well as keeping the foods that you love and enjoy in your diet. Community members have access to 3 fully exclusive Notion templates that I have been working so hard on, and I am honestly so obsessed with. The first one is the workout tracker, which this is my baby. I love it, and I think you guys are gonna love it too, as well as a habit and goal tracker, which my boyfriend, funny enough, is obsessed with. He'd been using his own, and he looked at mine and he was like, you need to give that to me right now, because that is like so much better than what I've been doing. So not to brag, but he loves it. And a goal-based calorie estimator, so that you can get kind of a general idea depending on what your goals are. Plus, we also have health challenges and courses. So we're launching with our 7-day sleep challenge, which I am in love with. You also will get support and weekly Q&A from me, and I am a certified performance personal trainer and BioLane nutritionist via Clean Health, so you can get support from a PT at a very low price, much lower than the traditional PT price tag. I wanted to make it accessible, and I wanted to make it easy to get online rather than having to meet in person, because I know that there are people watching me from all over the world. This is one of the things I'm most excited about. You will also get encouragement, accountability, and support from other people in the community who are working on the same goals and doing the same programs at the same time. I struggled so much with not having anyone who was into health and fitness at the start of my journey. Having workout buddies and accountability buddies is in my opinion, essential to success. And new content every single month based on community members' requests. So this is not just another PDF fitness program or an app that you'll use for a few months and then lose all your history and all access to your programs when you stop subscribing. I wanted everyone to have lifetime access to these templates and programs once you join the group, so you can continue using these resources, these tools. You can even create your own workouts and programs within the templates if you want to. Let's get into the giveaway. I'm gonna give the first 25 women who join the Radiant community 90 days of free membership. Or we're gonna let all of our members in for free during the next 3 days only, whichever comes first. So make sure to get in quick if you do wanna join the community. This is a women's only group, so if you are a guy watching, I'm sorry, this is not the group for you. Although you can still try the free downloadable programs if you're interested. All you have to do is click the link in our description to go to our About page. You'll make a free account with Skool if you don't already have one. It's just a learning community platform. I really love it. Fill out the membership questions and hit submit. My only ask is for everyone who joins and gets those free 90 days. If at the end of the 90 days, you could just share your feedback, what you enjoyed, maybe what you'd be interested in seeing, or constructive feedback if there's anything, or maybe a testimonial about your experience in the group, that would be amazing. If you're watching this and we have had all of our free members join already and our giveaway is over, let's talk about our foundational membership pricing. We will be charging a monthly subscription for all new members to the community, but if you join now, you will get our foundational member pricing. This will be the lowest price that we ever offer as a thank you for your trust, and you will lock in that price for the entire time that you are a member. And this is true at any point that you subscribe, whether you're seeing this video 6 months from now or the day that it's posted. So for example, if you subscribe at the price of $50 per month, and let's say we increase the price to $100 per month for new members, you will continue to pay only $50 a month for the entire time you are subscribed to the group. And you will get access to all of the new content that we're adding for new members, all included in your original membership price. As we add new content each month, the price for the community will go up. So whatever price you see right now is the lowest price you will ever see for the community. It was really important to me that everyone who joins feels like they're getting incredible value for their money spent. So that's why I'm making everyone's first month in the group entirely risk-free. If you join and you don't love our programs or our community, or you don't feel that I've given you the tools and support for you to transform your life, all you need to do is reach out within your first month to support@radianthealthfitness.com, and I will give you a full refund. So in the worst case scenario, you get a month of free training, support, and resources. And in the best case scenario, you love it and you transform your life. And I hope it is always the latter. If subscribing isn't in your budget and you're still interested in joining, then make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm gonna continue doing membership giveaways in the future. I will continue sharing tons of free content across all of my social platforms. Similar to what I did in today's video, I wanna give you all the tools to do this yourself without buying anything from me. But if you want my specific implementation and kind of more small group or one-on-one support, I do have that available. I hope to see you within the Radiant community. If you have any questions at all, you can leave a comment or email us, support@radianthealthfitness.com. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. And if you'd like to see more from my channel, hit subscribe. Thank you so much for your support. I will see you next time.